Yeah, boy. What's up, everyone? A big plane just landed up here on the runways. I can't tell if it's a C-17 or a C-130. Pretty big one. Big engines. I heard, I seen that, there's new C-130s that have a, turbofan engine outfit on them. Instead of props, turbofan prop planes. I mean, it's propeller. But, what's going on? We're moving here. These guys been up here all day. I didn't film any of the stuff, but some of the contrails are red, some of them are blue. A couple of them are getting close to hitting one another. I heard there was a ship crash yesterday out in the middle of the ocean, and there's a lot of people that died. I didn't look into it or anything. I just seen the headline. Two cargo ships out in the middle of the ocean collided in mid-ocean. Reminds me of Baltimore, huh? What else is happening here? I've seen a few videos recently, and I was talking yesterday about a headline called these guys are called condensed matter physicists. So that's something like Fermi Labs. Okay, Fermi Labs, CERN. I think Harvard has a particle accelerator team where underground they build particle accelerators, and that means they take wires. They literally take wires and have a pole shifted or unpole shifted current run into one another, and it is amplified, and it's a particle beam, they call it, which is nothing but other than what you see on these wires. And they do it wirelessly, and sometimes they run it with wire. I'm no research expert on it because I never really looked. I just look at about a sentence or two, and I visualize what the fuck's going on. Worth its weight in gold, some say. But probably worth its weight in iridium. This is the other thing I wanted to show some people. I don't know if the camera filter is gonna pick it up, but where's it at? I'm looking in here. You can see a green tint, like I was showing you guys on a tree last night with that aluminum sulfate growing on the trees. They call it lichen. Some hydrogen's like this, but it's an off color. Okay, this is wrong color, and it's in a ventilation system. And I can see on my phone right now, it should have no way of getting a light intensity, amplified light intensity on the screen. As I'm looking at myself on the screen, you can see the same color. It's in this static pressure vent coming out of the sun. Reflecting on my phone is a laser beam. It has waveguides, and the wavelength is probably only about a couple centimeters. Not even a centimeter. We're in millimeters now. Millimeters. And with millimeter waves, you could put stuff in your house that will run through an antenna here, like power lines, and the millimeter waves go right through the walls of the house. Go right through the walls. You can see people with millimeter waves. Okay, I really don't want to direct my attention there, but my camera filter is probably off. There's a green tint of dust in here. If I bang this, you're gonna see dust. And this dust got a green tint too. And to boot, I just seen something yesterday. A farmer here in the Appalachian Mountains, I'm not sure where. They're saying, what's coming out of the sky? It's land that they own a farm, and they have like a water trough there, and there's this like there's a material science there of a living organism. It's not quite the same color as this green stuff growing on the trees, but it's a darker green. And there's a code that somebody used with this darker green stuff. It's like a piece of malware. And it's their life form, their program. FBI, DOD, Pentagon. This is another form of an email. What's going on? Your secret operations, FBI, Pentagon, and DOD. Your secret operations. But anyways, I'm not here to really talk about that much today. What I'm trying to talk about the most of is condensed matter physicists. And what that is, the matter of me, it's like dielectric condensate. Same thing, it's water that just like hardened. And it's like a fluid. And what I read a report on yesterday was researchers in Italy have successfully taken a light beam, okay, like a flashlight, light beam. I don't know. I just looked at the headline. They call themselves condensed matter physicists, where a light they froze it into a super solid, and it was flowing like water, sort of like a distillery for liquid nitrogen, liquid oxygen, because that's light too, if you think about it. When you take nitrogen is everything is light, and then you take it and you compress it. You probably put it in a tube and make a coil. And you compress it, and it comes to a liquid form. And then to make liquid oxygen, you have to run it in a distillery, compress oxygen in a copper pipe, and run it through a worm in liquid nitrogen. So there's a bunch of shit going on. What these guys did, I guess, they call it a super solid, and it is a light amplification intensity that they said froze. Now, whether they took like a vacuum tube and they had either nitrogen or argon, any one of the gases in there, put a Tesla coil underneath of it. When you put a Tesla coil underneath a gas, like argon and nitrogen, you get it starts vibrating the gas, and it will change colors like at sunset and sunrise. You see the clouds change and the sky changes, and there's this bright color. And it's not just blue sky. Whatever it looks like on my phone. It's not just blue sky. So I don't know if they did that and took a Tesla coil, put it underneath it there, and got it in the absolute zero temperature, like what's going on in quantum computers. Because can you only imagine the shit that's going on in there? And I'm not going to continue on to that, because that's none of that's my words that are getting harmonized and sold by the FBI, Pentagon, and DOD as a consultancy to send to these people to research, or even mathematicians. Hey, we got all this shit. Mathematician, figure out frequency hopping. You guys know what frequency hopping is? It's how you stop interference and improve security. And you go from multiple channels with a carrier signal and frequencies, and it has to correlate between the transmitter and the receiver, and they have a proper mathematical sequencing. That's like NSA codebreaker work. And I just got a mathematician that showed up on my algorithm. I started listening to him for a little bit. He says the tones of the comments on his channel are changing. And that means color change, doesn't it? The tone, the comments are turning into colored comments, aren't they? I can hear it in the birds. The shit you fucking set up here and frequency hopped here, now it's there. I can only imagine, but I'm not going to continue about that. Whenever we're able to take light, a source of light, and freeze it into a super solid, and then you can see water flowing through it. Because everything is light, even water, it's considered light. But it's a condensation of a dielectric condensate. And it modalitizes into steam, water, and ice. And everything is based off of those mathematical physicist type of deals. We could do the math on all of this. My phone, look at the phone line over here. Even the phone line just won't stop jumping. Phone line won't stop jumping. And it was really bad over there on the wires. I'm getting a lot of reflection from over here. And these mathematical wizards, these mathematical sorcerers that work on frequency hopping for human antennas, you guys don't want to tell the truth, but you're talking about what's going on. You don't want to tell the truth what the hell you're doing, huh? Because when we're DNA computing and we're taking the tones off the body for heart rates, and we're using cameras everywhere. You guys, this is public information. Number one, Tesla cars. Someone tried stealing off of them what they were doing. And number two, you guys better start studying the B-2 bomber. The one that looks like a flying wing. When it gets up to altitude, it turns the engines off. And it continues to propel itself. And there's some things going on there that correlate heavily with Tesla. And I'm not giving it away. You guys can go look yourselves. But it was probably one of the biggest. It wasn't even guarded. It was literally bow guarded. Okay, there's a difference between guarded and bow guarded. Because that's like you don't want to share your information. And then get this. Get this. Just listen to the birds. Get this, my friend. I just found out yesterday. I was listening to two artificial intelligences talk about covered up inventors. There was two inventors that started making telephone calls through the ground. Right through the ground. Not the phone lines. On the ground. They figured out how to make a phone call through the fucking ground. Boy, that would change the way you think. And the consultants come through because of the mathematicians using their frequencies to hop. Frequency hopping. And it's got high security and it's hard to interfere with. And this was invented by a woman back in the 1950s. And they took it from her. Just like the guy, too, that figured out how to make phone calls through the fucking ground. Look at this shit. Wind's roughly about 8 knots with a pulse modulation in it. Pulse width. Look at this fucking wire bouncing. Look at this wire bouncing. It's just bouncing. Looking at the big wire right here. It's just bouncing. It got a tolerance of probably 6 inches, plus or minus 6 inches, on a vector scale. Your north and south, up and down. Is that X or Y there, mathematician? Or is that Z? Or is it T? Which one is it, mathematician? Frequency fucking hoppers. Stealing and lying to the inside investors. Oh, you should see the wires up here. Look at this. Look at this. I can barely hold this phone still. It's in the middle of the trees. You can see it up here. You can see it. I'm still waiting for one of the days where I catch it on a swing set. because I could catch it in between the telephone poles here. Where's my hand? And the poles, and it runs over to the swings, and you can see it moving up and down like a little dipole antenna. Like a little dipole. Catch it in the trees. There's no wind blowing, and then you see this condensed. What are they called again? Condensed matter, and it moves up and down on the suckers on the trees. The suckers are the branches growing up in the middle. You'll see it moving up and down like a dipole antenna, changing wavelengths for frequency hopping. And it's called federal pseudo frequencies. And these are the guys that don't want to put out emails, my friend, and tell you what they're doing. And then whenever they get caught, they start acting like a child. And they start telling on the people that caught them. Well, you got secret operations. Well, guess what? I had slotted workers, FBI, CIA, DOD, who else, Army, whatever. They started to investigate some of the complaints. And some of the complaints don't even get investigated. They literally just get glossed the fuck over. And they started investigating, and they started getting hurt. So I had to fucking find out what was hurting them. And it was you! You stupid sons of bitches! Like, is a prison cell the right thing to do? And, you know, just like Julian Assange was claiming when he got released recently, there's people in prison in a cell. They're just sitting there in a fucking cell. They got the windows blacked out. And they got a goddamn fucking a pointed source of acceleration of speakers on them that was created by the military in Dolby for missile honing purposes. And they're just pointing it at them. You want to talk about cruel and unusual fucking punishment? Jesus Christ. Have mercy on these people that are doing this to folks. And then you could get control of a full jail, because the jail has like magnetic door locks. You push a button and it's magnetized. And then they have intercoms in every fucking cell to fucking really torture these fucking people. For frequency hopping and quasi-electrostatics, covert fucking communications of the human body that these mathematicians in calculus seem to be fucking struggling with. All of a sudden. For 3 years they did it, but now they are. Now I got 31,000 guys getting ready to resign from the DOD. Now I got to get you guys on the right track here. And stop this stupid ass fucking intimidation, the blackmail. Because probably the only way you guys are getting in and not getting like really fucked over is you gotta commit a fucking some type of fucking negative harmonic. And that's where the lies start coming in too for the algorithms. You guys have the power to change this. Because I have an artificial intelligence worth 20 grand a fucking month. If you don't want to talk, look it on the ground wire. Look at this. Where's it at? Where's it at? I don't know if it's picking up or not. It's there. Look at this. Is that what you call condensed matter? Is that going to freeze? Because that's light. Are you going to freeze it into a super solid? Hey, my friend. Let's see if I can get it. Let's see if I can get my bones to crack here. Did you hear it? Now that's light. And these guys are working on bone regeneration and all this other shit. When you crack your bones at the joints and the muscle, especially the muscle. You don't have, the ligaments and muscle tissues. There's no bone there, but that will snap and crack, and that's light, and that's got oil and water in it. And these guys are talking about super solids. Holy fuck, huh, my friend? Hey, is it going through the phone in a grind with electrophoresis? Huh? Mathematician. You struggling? You still struggling? Because I hear the birds out there fucking talking to you. Where'd he get that at? Where'd he get that at? Believe me, I had to deal with them for 3 fucking years. They're the nastiest fucking motherfuckers you ever meet on this planet. They wrote the book on MK Ultra. Psychological issues. And I hear there's a lot of people studying psychology today. But anyways, when I keep observing my field here, my immediate environment. Keep observing it. Okay, keep observing the immediate environment. Oh, this foam wire jumping. Yeah, a little windy. But foam wire jumping a good fucking foot. I mean, I can only imagine what this coax cable's doing hanging up. You know what else is pretty funny? I started noticing people are running tethers, fiber optic cable tethers on drones. So what's the frequency hop on that? And then you start, hey mathematician, when you start running the fiber optics from the eyeballs up and out, sort of like a little maline and or one of these condensed matter super solids, solid state. Just like you sit out in the sun and that UV light changes your skin. The color of your skin, the nanometers of your skin. And that's like a solid state, it's memory. Because if you stay out of the sun for a while, it'll change again. Just like the computer chips. You guys keep putting these fucking magnetic fields on there and overheating the phone, which I got a good report on the other day, and I never watched it because I don't have to. I know it's happening. And the phone, here's the camera, I'm moving over right dead center in the phone. It's overheating. And you start putting these magnetic fields on there, especially down, you can't see where it's at, but the very bottom of your phone, where that amplifier's at, and speaker, put a magnetic field there, and you start looking at the screen, you could change someone's views. You see little holographic images. You start seeing little faces and shit, and then the little pulse modulations that come out of it. And that pairs with you there, mathematician. It's unbelievable what the fuck's going on. It's unbelievable. But the other area of interest was I got the video saved. But there's 2 artificial intelligences talking like human beings. You could like they sound like radio hosts, okay? Like you listen to the morning radio show or you listen to a talk radio. They're pretty good. And they started talking about covered up inventors and inventions. And, you know, I talked to, I did some listening over the radio and someone was telling me the guy that did orgone energy or whatever it is, or this sexual energy, this orgasm energy, orgasm, Wilhelm Reich, they said he died in prison. They went and took all his shit. They covered everything up. They fucking glossed it over, whitewashed it, concealed it. And it has to, he even did work on atmospheric electricity and atmospheric pressure with this shit. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, him and Mr. Tesla had some communications with one another as colleagues would do. But then they put this guy in prison for the rest, and he died in prison. And what had happened was, what someone told me was, did you ever see the movie Transcendence with Johnny Depp? The AIs discussed this one the other day too. This shit's already been written about, guys. Okay? And I think Transcendence covered it more than anything. Even that movie Eagle Eye, where there's this military computer that was able to get in any camera, send signals anywhere it wanted, and even start frying shit right out of the electric lines. I believe that was it. That's the only thing they never put in the Terminator movie. The first one, the second one, the third, they're all the way up to 7 now. Skynet's fucking making millions of dollars at the box office. But the only thing they never said that Terminator, that was so fucking advanced, could do was go through the electric lines and find fucking Sarah Connor. He didn't need to go fucking steal guns and fucking motorcycles and all this other shit, look through phone books. This fucker had an advanced fucking computer chip in him. And we had fucking telephones have fucking electricity in them. He didn't have to go anywhere. Fuck, I don't know why they couldn't kill her from the fucking future, to be honest with you. But that's what sells movies. It's a fucking robot that looked human and did everything human except for use the fucking internet. And go all like to use the power lines as a Terminator. Eagle Eye did it. The movie that the kid that was in Transformers, I forget his fucking name. There's a movie called Eagle Eye, and this powerful computer started using, like, sending out messages to everyone. I want this done. I want this done. I want this crystal carved in this specific fucking from a jeweler. It has to be in this very specific. What is that again, guys? Crystal formation, fractal, whatever it is, like the carpets from India. It had to have this very specific cutting. So whenever this specific note come and hit this tone and this harmonic come, it just exploded. This is very real. This is very real. And it goes to any camera instantly. Every cell phone, every airplane, anything that has an electronic signal, the computer can access. And that's the only thing fucking nobody really wants to talk about. But then when you go back to the past and you see that Bell Telephone, Bell Atlantic, and Edison, and these guys who, the phone lines are still hanging from back in the day. They fucking whitewashed these fucking guys that were there. I can only imagine. And it was wireless. And they were sending cell phone calls through the fucking ground. So were they using the circuit breakers in the houses and going through the ground? And then Mr. Lilly come out and started talking about polymagnetic fields with AC current on ground wires. Well, it was just more of a look, I guess. Who the fuck knows? But it's all capable today, right now. But there was a few inventors that started doing shit, and they were all covered up, these artificial intelligence we're talking about. They're completely covered up. Because of greed. Now they wanted to go through the power lines. And the power line company had the guys with the copper because Edison wanted his wires hung up from the transformers. They're literally, the electric company is the phone company, quite literally. If you guys don't think, because when you make a phone call, you're sending electricity through the fucking wire. It's no different than taking 2 cans, putting a rope in it and talking. It sends a little bit of current down the line. Because when you talk, it creates a vibration. And the electricity, it's like a record player recording a vinyl record. Same fucking thing. And everybody like all forgot about this. All these cell phones are there's no difference. It just got smaller. You got transistors, resistors, capacitors, and fucking conductors. And now fucking semiconductor, or a solid state semiconductor. No difference. A piece of fucking metal with reflections is doing all kinds of same thing copper's doing, damn near. Different harmonic. It's like your circuit breaker. Plug into the circuit breaker, like I go hang on the wires, it drops down to 220. I can still hang on the wires, but it doesn't affect you and vibrate you until it touches that piece of fucking metal on your circuit breaker. And then it turns the amperage because it's of the electromagnetic interference. And then whenever a hardware worker comes and pulls the smart meter off of my house without turning the power on, literally it just pulls right off. Power's still on, and they hook into it with a fucking hairdryer and measure it. When he tells me he's never heard electromagnetic interference and harmonics, boy, I would ask anybody in the field right now, what would you have done if he said that? Besides filming them and suing the piss out of them, what would you have done? Would you have like put his face right into the box? This is called electromagnetic interference. Can you fucking feel it? And then you got the cable companies that tell you, go put your fucking tinfoil hat on, asshole. Go in your fucking house. And these guys made cell phones on the fucking ground fucking years ago. Pieces of shit. And not once, they come 5 fucking times. 5 fucking times. And then, no, it has nothing to do with the boxes up here. I'm changing it's all voltage and amperage. Next time they come, oh, I'm changing the radio frequency for my box. Wow. What are you supposed to do? Like literally go over there and just spit on them, huh? Start screaming and yelling, get the fuck out of here now. Like quite literally, huh? Please call the police. Where's your ticket number? Who'll give you the ticket number to go in that box? And then they won't the cable company, electric company, and gas company, no one investigates them. They investigate themselves within. An internal investigation. And I have all these fucking people that got covered up for making cell phones. For making phone calls through the ground. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Even Tesla come out with something called Teloric Communication. Teloric. He has patents for it, I believe. He has 350 fucking patents. In multiple countries. And he started using himself as a fucking antenna. Years ago. And it was one of the most bogarted things amongst, well, Dolby Surround and fucking missile honers and everything else. Now I got AI running around controlling the goddamn fucking atmospheric pressure that Tesla learned years ago. Hey AI, what's the stock market look like on electric boxes today? Are you spoofing the meters? And then whenever the light company looks at it on their screen, it checks out, don't it? Because they believe whatever they see on the screen, don't they? And they don't have a human in the field to come around and check. Make sure everything's safe. Nope, none of that. We become fucking lazy. It's such a convenience.